Thomas in trouble. It was a busy day for the engines on the Fat Controller's railway. Gordon was taking passengers across the island. He felt magnificent. Henry was delivering logs to the timber yards. He was right on time. Percy was pleased to be pulling mail trucks. James was happy hauling flatbeds of paint. And Salty was carefully shunting trucks of fish at Brendam Docks. But Thomas and Emily were at the fitter's yard for repairs. "I can't wait to get back to work. I'm taking the school choir to their concert." Emily was ready to go. "Goodbye, Thomas," she whistled. "Good luck with your final inspection." "Thank you, Emily," tooted Thomas. Then James puffed in to deliver his paint. "Bust my boiler," he laughed. "You've broken down, Thomas." "No, I haven't," huffed Thomas. "You must have done," snorted James. "Otherwise you wouldn't be at the fitter's yard. What a shame you're not a smart and useful engine like me." This made Thomas cross. The Fat Controller arrived. "Thomas," boomed the Fat Controller, "are you ready to take the school choir to their concert?" "Nearly ready, sir," puffed Thomas excitedly. "Nearly ready isn't good enough," said the Fat Controller. Thomas didn't want anyone else to collect the school choir. Carrying the children was his favourite job. So Thomas decided he would leave before his final inspection. "I'm ready now, sir," he puffed. And Thomas chuffed away to pick up Annie and Clarabel. Thomas was puffing up the line. He began to make strange noises. Annie and Clarabel knew something was wrong. "Something's wrong! Clangety-clong! Clangety-clong! Something's wrong!" But Thomas wasn't listening. He was too excited about collecting the choir. The school choir cheered when they saw Thomas. "All aboard!" chuffed Thomas cheerfully as he clangety-clonged into Knapford Station. "Who is making that nasty noise?" wheezed Emily. Emily saw it was Thomas. "Did you have your final inspection?" asked Emily. This made Thomas cross. "I'm fine," he huffed, and he steamed away with the choir on board. Thomas rattled even more. Clangety-clong, clangety-clong. Later, Thomas had to stop at a signal. He was feeling hot and bothered. Toby saw that something was wrong with Thomas. "Did you take on enough water at the fitter's yard?" This made Thomas cross. "There's nothing wrong with me." Just then the signal changed. Thomas puffed away. Thomas was rattling and steaming more and more. Clangety-clong, clangety-clong. Further up the line, Percy was waiting at a crossing. "What's happened to you, Thomas?" cried Percy. "You look puffed out." "Bother," steamed Thomas. He didn't like being told there was something wrong with him. "There's nothing wrong with me, Percy," Thomas huffed. A barrier opened. Thomas rattled away. Clangety-clong, clangety-clong. Then there was trouble. Thomas began to chuff slower and slower. "I need a rest," he gasped. Thomas clangety-clonged into a siding. Steam burst from his boiler and black smoke flew from his funnel. With a final clangety-clong, Thomas broke down. Thomas felt terrible. The school choir began to sing to pass the time. "The children will be late for their concert," he wailed sadly, "and it's all my fault. I've let everyone down." Thomas was upset. Just then, Gordon puffed around the bend. "I've broken down," groaned Thomas. "Sorry, Thomas," steamed Gordon. I'm a guaranteed connection. Now what am I going to do? Cried Thomas. He was worried. Then Thomas heard a whistle. It was James. If I asked James for help, he'd laugh at me again. But I don't want the children to miss their concert. So Thomas tooted as loud as he could toot. Stop! Bust my boiler! Laughed James. I said you were a broken down little engine. I am, sighed Thomas. So I need your help. Can you take the children to their concert? Thomas whistled. Now, James didn't laugh at Thomas. He could see Thomas was in trouble, and he was happy to help his friend. I'll get the children there on time, James wished. Thomas knew he had to get back to be repaired as quickly as possible. Henry was sent to collect Thomas. He soon buffered up and shunted Thomas to the fitter's yard. Before long, Thomas was as good as new. He had even waited for his final inspection. The Fat Controller arrived. You have been very patient, Thomas. I have a special job for you. You are to collect the choir and bring them home again. Thank you, sir, chuffed Thomas. He was delighted. Clangety-clong, nothing is wrong, he laughed. And Thomas smiled all the way to the concert. Wash behind your buffers. Up in the mountains there are many railway tracks that the little narrow gauge engines run on. There are also many roads. Madge is a snub-nosed lorry. She drives around the mountains and valleys, delivering goods to the villagers. Madge likes all the narrow gauge engines. Madge is very kind. She likes to take care of everyone she meets. One morning, Mr. Percival, the Thing Controller, came to see Madge. There is to be a country show and engine rally, he said, and Rheneas and Skarloey are to lead the rally. How wonderful, said Madge. The engines must be extra clean and shiny. I need you to take them some soap and brushes. Of course, smiled Madge. I'll deliver them right away. And make sure you're back in plenty of time, added the Thing Controller. You have a very important job. You are to pull the brass band. You need to be clean too. How exciting, exclaimed Madge. I'll be the cleanest lorry you have ever seen. Madge was very proud. This will be the grandest country show and engine rally ever, she smiled. There was a lot to do. First, Madge went to see Rheneas. Rheneas had been working at the coal mine. He was very dirty, but soon he was being washed and scrubbed for the country show. Madge watched. She had to make sure Rheneas was extra clean and extra shiny for the engine rally. Get the engineer to scrub all the way round your number and nameplate, Madge told Rheneas. Madge made sure his whistle was washed and his boiler bands were buffed. There, Madge exclaimed. Now you're ready for the rally. And wash behind your buffers, she called as she drove away. Madge still had lots to do. But now Madge was late. She had to hurry. She drove faster and faster. The mountain roads were very dirty. This dirt will take a long time to get off, thought Madge. I must make sure I'm back in plenty of time. I have to be washed and polished too. But when Madge arrived at the quarry, Skarloey was very dirty. "Goodness," said Madge, "you're a real mucky buffers. We're going to have to work very hard to make sure you're extra clean for the engine rally." Soon Skarloey was covered in bubbles. Madge waited. She wanted to make sure he would be extra shiny. "Scrub from the top of his funnel all the way down to his footplate," Madge told the engineer. It took a long time, but at last Skarloey was clean. "Now you'll look grand at the engine rally. And one more thing," she called. "Wash behind your buffers." Now, Madge really was late. Madge raced to the village. She drove down more dirt tracks. "Oh no," Madge moaned. "I hope I can still get clean in time." Rheneas and Skarloey were waiting in the village square. Their paintwork gleamed, their domes glistened in the sun. "You look grand," said the thin controller. He was very proud of his little engines. Then Madge arrived. She was filthy. The thin controller was surprised. "Oh dear," he said. "You're very dirty." "Don't worry," revved Madge. "I'll go and get washed and wiped right now." But mud had clogged up Madge's exhaust pipe. Suddenly she backfired. The mud sprayed all over Rheneas and Skarloey. "Oh no," cried Madge. Then Madge saw the brass band. Madge was worried. "How am I going to get you clean in time? I'm the dirtiest of all," she cried. "We could help get you clean," puffed Skarloey. "But you're dirty too," Madge moaned. "The band is waiting for you," chuffed Rheneas. Madge gasped. She knew she had to be extra clean and shiny to pull the brass band. It was time for her to get clean. "Make sure you clean her wheel arches," puffed Rheneas. "And wash her windscreen," chuffed Skarloey. Soon Madge was sparkling and clean. "Thank you," she said. "Now you have to get clean too." Madge was about to tell the engines how to get extra clean and extra shiny. Then she saw what the engineers were doing. They were scrubbing all around the number and nameplates. They washed the whistles and buffed the boiler bands. They scrubbed from the top of their funnels right down to their footplates. "My, what a wonderful job!" laughed Madge. "That's because you helped us before," puffed Rheneas. Madge smiled. She felt very happy. It was soon time for the country show and engine rally to begin. Madge sparkled and shone as she proudly pulled the brass band. "You both look wonderful," called Madge. But she still wasn't sure if they had washed behind their buffers. Percy and the left luggage. In summertime, the engines on the Island of Sodor enjoy being busy. Many visitors come to the island. The engines take them to visit many beautiful sights. Percy liked the summer. He was as happy as could be. The fat controller came to Tidmouth. He had lots of jobs for Percy. "You are to collect the holiday mail, deliver the lights for the town hall, and take the children to their summer party." Percy was very happy. "You are also to collect the Dowager Hatt's luggage from Maythwaite Station and take it to the airport," he boomed. "The plane leaves at tea time. It is very important you get it there on time." Yes, sir, peeped Percy excitedly, and he puffed out of Tidmouth as fast as he could. Percy steamed through the sunny countryside. He was very happy. Why, this could be the most fun day ever, Percy peeped. Percy came to a junction. The left track went to Maithwaite Station and to Dowager Hatt's luggage. And straight ahead was the postal depot. Percy thought about which way to go, but not for very long. Taking the luggage is an easy job, he said. I can do that later. And so Percy puffed straight ahead to the postal depot to collect the mail. Percy buffered up to the presents and mail sacks. He wheeshed away as happy as he could be. Percy had lots of stations to go to and lots of people to talk to. Hello, he peeped happily. Some of the wagons were uncoupled, and Percy chuffed on with the rest of his deliveries. When everyone saw the parcels and presents, they clapped and cheered. They were very pleased. Percy was having a wonderful time. He wished he could do it all over again. Percy wondered what job to do next. He came to another junction. This time, straight ahead was the way to Maithwaite Station and to Dowager Hatt's luggage, and the left track went to Brendam Docks. The lights for the town hall were waiting there. Taking the luggage is an easy job, he said. I can do that later. And so Percy puffed left to collect the lights for the town hall. Percy collected the lights from the docks and he set off for the town hall. Percy pulled up outside the town hall. People on the platform smiled and waved. They were looking forward to seeing the town hall all lit up. Percy puffed along. He was feeling more and more excited. Now I can take the children to the party, he peeped. That's the best job of all. Percy came to the junction again. Dowager Hatt's luggage was still waiting at Maithwaite, but Percy wasn't thinking about the luggage. He was thinking about the children. Percy collected the children in no time at all. Soon the children were singing and Percy was whistling. Everyone was having a glorious time. Then Percy needed to take on water. The fat controller drove by. He was taking Dowager Hatt to the airport. Percy suddenly remembered the luggage. Bust my buffers, cried Percy. I must collect the luggage now or Dowager Hatt will leave without it. Percy was worried. Now I can't take the children to the party. He puffed quickly away. He had to find someone to help him. Percy saw Edward resting in a siding. Edward, wailed Percy, I'm late to take Dowager Hatt's luggage to the airport. Will you take the children to the party for me, please? I'd be delighted, chuffed Edward. So Percy left the coach in the siding. He peeped goodbye to the children and raced to Maithwaite Station. Percy buffered up to the luggage and wheeshed away as fast as his wheels would carry him. Time flew, and so did Percy. He had to arrive at the airport before the Fat Controller. Percy raced through tunnels, he chuffed over bridges and puffed left and right. "Why didn't I do this job first?" wailed Percy. Percy arrived at the airport just in time. Jeremy the plane was waiting. The luggage was unloaded just as the Fat Controller's car arrived. "I made it on time," peeped Percy. "You're a very reliable engine," boomed Dowager Hatt as she boarded Jeremy. "Well done, Percy," said the Fat Controller. Percy smiled. Jeremy soared into the sky. The Fat Controller waved, and Percy blew his whistle. He'd never leave things to the last minute again. Thomas and the Big Bang. Thomas is a cheeky little engine. He likes to have fun with his friends. He likes playing hide and peep with Percy. And he enjoys joking with James. One day, Thomas was fitted with a brand new whistle. The whistle gleamed, and Thomas beamed. And he blew it all day long. He blew it softly, and he blew it loudly. He blew it in stations, and he blew it in Misty Valley. Thomas thought it the most wonderful whistle he had ever had. Thomas puffed into the wharf with a train of empty trucks. The thin controller was there. "Thomas," he said, "the narrow-gauge engines are bringing bricks, flour and timber. They must be loaded into your trucks by tea time." The thin controller left. Thomas felt very happy, so he blew his new whistle loudly. Rheneas was surprised. He jumped and biffed into his trucks. Skarloey and Sir Handel laughed. Even Rheneas thought it was funny. "That was fun," tooted Thomas. Now he wanted to play more jokes and have more fun. So Thomas chuffed off to look for another engine to peep. Later, Rusty puffed into the wharf. He was shunting trucks full of bright red bricks. They were to be unloaded into Thomas's empty trucks. But Thomas wanted to have more fun. He rolled up behind Rusty. Rheneas and Skarloey held their puff. Thomas blew his new whistle, peep. Rusty jumped and he biffed his trucks. Rusty was covered in red brick dust. Skarloey and Rheneas both laughed. Thomas thought it was tremendous fun. Rusty thought it was fun too. Now he wanted to join in. "Can't catch me," hooted Rusty. And he steamed around the wharf. Thomas puffed after him. Everyone was laughing and having fun. But no one collected the bricks. Then Thomas had another idea. "Sir Handel will be arriving with the trucks of flour soon," he tooted. "Why don't we all peep 'em at once?" The little engines were excited, and they all found hiding places. As Sir Handel puffed into the wharf, there was nobody to be seen. "Now!" Thomas cried. He blew his new whistle as loudly as he could. The little engines blew their whistles too. Sir Handel biffed his trucks in surprise. Flour flew up into the air like a great white cloud. "You look like a ghost," laughed Rusty. "Whoa!" laughed Sir Handel. "Look at me, I'm a ghost." And he steamed away. Soon all the engines were chasing each other, and no one was doing any work. Thomas had another idea. "Peter Sam is on his way. Let's peep him as well. And the little engines agreed this was a very good idea. Peter Sam trundled into the wharf. Thomas got ready with his whistle. The little engines got ready too. Beep! Peter Sam shot forward. He bashed into his flatbed so hard they burst through the buffers, smashed through oil drums stacked on the wharf, and splashed into the canal. "Oh my!" cried the little engines. "Cinders and ashes!" cried Thomas. The thin controller arrived at the wharf. "What has been going on here?" he said sternly. "There are bricks all over the rails, flour all over the warehouse, and now timber is in the canal." "I'm sorry, sir," wheezed Thomas sadly. "It's all my fault. I just wanted to play jokes and have fun." The thin controller was very cross. "You must clear up this mess at once," he cried, "and your trucks must be loaded by tea time." As soon as the workmen had reloaded the bricks, Thomas started to work. But the little engines still wanted to play. They wanted to wheesh the dust and flour at each other. "No more jokes," whistled Thomas. "We have work to do." And he shunted the trucks into a siding. New trucks of flour were now ready, and Thomas took them to the sidings as well. At last the workmen had the timber wagons ready, and Thomas shunted them into the siding too. Finally, Thomas had one long train of bricks, flour and timber, and it wasn't even tea time. The thin controller came back. He saw Thomas, but Thomas was hiding his trucks. "Where are your trucks?" said the thin controller crossly. Thomas smiled. He was playing a trick. He puffed forward slowly. "Here they are, sir," he whistled happily, "loaded up and ready to go." The little engines laughed, and the thin controller laughed too. "Thomas," he said, "that was a good joke. You are a really funny engine." And Thomas puffed happily away.